Wendell?
You! Yes!
Go kill that baby, buddy.
And welcome back to LagFree here on IAP Podcast. This is Matt, I think.
And Will, hopefully.
Yes, shaking the dust off, as it were. Little technical difficulties delayed this in about 15 minutes. Not that you care, but 15 minutes aside from, in addition to the 3 months?
It was around Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. Life continues to be very, very fun and very, very busy for the two of us. And let's see, I guess I've been kind of just going along, watching whatever I can. How about you?
I've been mostly reading more than watching. Everything I've been watching lately has been older repeat stuff on Netflix. The fiance just got me into trying to watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine. That's about the newest thing I've been looking at.
Very cool. I guess I took a chance. I like The Flash, and the CW picked up a Arrow spinoff, as they were originally, I guess, a new IP with The Flash, and kind of running it congruent with Arrow, I should say. And I didn't initially get into Arrow, mostly because I'm kind of like, I don't need a series on what most people would consider a secondary or tertiary character for DC. However, my enjoyment of Flash has made me go back and start watching Arrow. And I probably haven't had this much fun watching fantasy. I don't know if I really want to call it sci-fi, but just sort of fun, non-normal drama television since Stargate.
Now, Arrow is definitely one of those ones I've been wanting to go back and look at. It's kind of like on my list of things to check out. Just haven't gotten around to it. Actually, I did forget. Keep going on Arrow. I feel like it seems like you have more to say, and then we'll get into this other thing that I forgot about.
It's good. The first several episodes are rather slow, and they drop a lot of DC characters that, as a rabid Batman fan, and animated series, JLA, or Justice League United, Justice League cartoon, you hear or you see. You get mention of some of these different DC villains or characters, such as Deadshot, Deathstroke, Slate Wilson.
Yeah.
Royal Flush Gang makes an appearance, and it was cool the way that they did it. I think it was Flash that they ended up in. Maybe it was Arrow. Either way, I think it was Flash. They were a motorcycle gang. Yeah, they were bank robbers.
Oh, that's cool.
The Royal Flush Gang. Yeah, and they ended up having different cards on their helmet. So one guy had the Ace of Spades, another guy had a Queen, Jack, and it was really kind of cool. It was all family, and they stayed rather true to those sorts of origins of those, or the source materials for those characters, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm now, I think, I want to say maybe halfway through the first season of Arrow, and they went hard for the first season, or at least how they are dividing these seasons up. I believe it's a good 26 episodes for the first season, which typically, if it's a pilot show, the first season, you're only getting maybe 13.
Right.
They seem to have done that same thing with The Flash. And so it's, I don't want to say it's drudgery, but sometimes it can be a little slow moving. And
Which
Arrow
is ironic for
definitely
The Flash.
and not necessarily Flash, more so Arrow has been a little slow to start.
Oh, okay.
But you see Deadshot early on in the season, and he comes back, and then he has that more so iconic red eye.
Too, like it's an interesting thing if they're making Deadshot a foe for Flash, because I tend to think of him as an enemy for Batman because of the whole thing with the guns. But you take the world's deadliest.
He's
sniper.
actually for Arrow. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to say Arrow and brain put out Flash. No, you think of him as a Batman villain, but yeah, that's a good matchup. You take the world's greatest archer and put him up against the world's greatest gun sniper.
Oh yeah, it's good. It fits into the storyline, to the world that they've created. I not having really any deep exposure to Arrow literature lore, or Green Arrow literature lore. It's good and it's fun, and it's nice to be able to find that sort of television that you can just you can half pay attention to it, half watch while also doing something else, be it playing Pokemon, or just having it on as some pseudo background noise. That's not to say it's not interesting enough, but sometimes it can be a little problem monster of the week esque, and
Yeah.
Flash definitely suffered from that initially, where they're running through several different villains like Captain Cold. There's a crossover, and I was really surprised that they made the crossover event as big as they did, as early on as they did. I don't know if they were trying to hey, we really got to sell Flash. I think Flash had enough merit on its own to warrant a season renewal, which it did get. So having a crossover season at this point now maybe about 6 weeks ago, because I know they've taken a few breaks. So 6-7 weeks ago, it seemed a little rushed, but still good nonetheless.
That kind of thing isn't unprecedented, though. I mean, even just going back to looking at I just started on Deep Space Nine, and the very first episode of that is a crossover with Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah. So I guess they kind of need, and I know Stargate is infamous for doing that with Atlantis, and it's fun and it's nice, and I guess it's a nice. To me, I almost look at it more as a reward for fan service for fans that have been around watching it for a while. So maybe they were worried that it wasn't going to get picked up, and they figured, you know what, let's reward the fans that have supported it from the beginning, supported Arrow as well, and. It was released, I think maybe 3 weeks ago, news dropping that another spinoff was going to happen, and I think it's more so going to be a rogues gallery. So Captain Cold's going to be in it. And I believe maybe Huntress and a couple of other characters. I'm not sure, but I thought I did see Captain Cold, which was really kind of funny because the actor who was playing Captain Cold and his partner, I forget the guy's name, but they were the brothers of Prison Break.
Oh, okay.
And so they were reunited for this, and that was really kind of funny to see. Just kind of see a few other 24 drops. Roger Cross is in Arrow. Sorry, he was in, I think, the second season of 24, maybe first and second. So, yes. Either way,
excuse me. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's been good. Contrary to I guess on the other side of that, you have another one. You have another series, and I've been trying to play catch up as much as I can with it in Gotham on Fox.
Yes.
Completely different team doing it, but they. I don't want to say they're taking several liberties with it. I don't necessarily. I think they are. I know they are, but it's still fun, and it's a very fun series. Edward Nygma is a hypnotic character, and I can't wait for him to be on screen. He's that good. Penguin is certainly a dynamic character, and you to me it's kind of you're in these same problems again. Can we move along a little bit? But they do drop hints at the future, of course.
Right.
Selena Kyle being a younger girl about the same age as Bruce Wayne. Ivy, though, they've kind of I don't want to say nerfed, but they've twisted that one a bit. Not necessarily being Pamela Isley from what we know from other stories, but right away just calling her Ivy. Go ahead.
Funnily enough, I a couple weeks ago I rewatched Batman and Robin because I felt like hating myself, and it was one of the things I was trying to think of. I was like Ivy's one of those villains that is kind of especially in that movie, her motivations were never clear, and I was trying to remember if they ever did an episode of the animated series on her origin, and I feel like they didn't. I feel like they just kind of jumped right into oh, here's Poison Ivy, and it just got me thinking about she needs she's one of those characters that could really use a fresh set of eyes, a new treatment on her.
Yeah, I agree. I think the best portrayal that of recent memory of her recent vintage would be the Arkham series.
Yeah.
She has had a nice place. That certainly the artistic liberties, well, maybe not liberties. The artistic interpretation is stunning, to say the least, at sometimes, but and certainly not horrible for the eyes. But
Yeah.
the Arkham series has done her a tremendous justice. I don't even recall. I don't even think. No, she really wasn't in at all. Arkham Origins, which makes sense. It's not her story.
Yeah, no, she wasn't.
Uh, but definitely did a good job with what she did in almost too much of a cameo for Arkham City, and a good portion for Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm with you. She could definitely benefit from the now Harley Quinn treatment, which I think DC is certainly giving Harley Quinn.
yeah, kind of going in for a little bit of reinvention on her and reinvention on everybody. Really, I've been we're going to jump over to comics for a second. I've been reading the trade paperbacks of the new 52 Batman, and especially those first two volumes, the Court of Owls and the Night of Owls, are amazing. Um, I'm in the middle of the volume. I just finished volume 4. Volume 5 is out in hardcover. I'm waiting for the paperback.
Nice.
But that is their take on the new version of the Batman origin, and um, Scott Snyder, the writer, has basically said like, yeah, we're not going to completely rewrite the book because like I don't want to, but he did put his own kind of twists on it and kind of retell, um, tying in the origins into the some of the original stories,
Mm.
and just putting like it's more like what if these stories happen now. There's in particular in Zero Year, there's this standout splash page that my jaw dropped when I turned the page to it, and it's they basically recreate Greg Capullo, the artist, more or less recreated the cover of Batman's first appearance in Detective Comics, um, with the yellow sky and uh, carrying a bad guy on a zip line and all that stuff. Like that, he just
Yeah.
recreated the whole thing, and it's in the context of the story. It's not a cover,
Nice.
and just I won't spoil the context of it, but just like that was amazing. And Night of Owls, Court of Owls, it's the first two volumes of the new 52 Batman, but they did a cold start. They just jump you right into a story with the pre-existing characters, and that story is phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
I don't even want to tell anything about it because it's so good. I don't want to spoil a thing. Just I can't recommend it higher.
And we won't do that for our listeners. I know I was not as good as picking as getting through some of the new 52 stuff as I had originally planned. I don't know if I was trying to savor it to let more things happen so I could just binge read, as now binge watching is the new buzzword. But yeah, I do have several of the new. I did pick up concurrently the paperbacks of the all three stories that were out there. Just the Batman, Detective Comics, and oh gosh, there's the other one. There were three going at it at the same time. Boy, boy,
Nightwing.
boy, boy. No, there were two Batman stories going, or excuse me, three different uh, Batman stories going on. Gosh, it is The Dark Knight. Excuse me, that was what it
Oh,
was.
okay.
Uh, those three. And I've heard very good things about all of them. Certainly, Scott Snyder's Batman is definitely one that that I think I have probably the most collections of that I have to binge read through.
Oh yeah,
So
no, I couldn't put him down. I got through. I had picked up Court of Owls and Night of Owls back to back, and then I put them off to the side for a bit because my to read pile was huge.
yeah,
And then a few weeks ago, I picked up Volume 3, Death of the Family, and it was, in my opinion, not as good as Court of Owls, but it was still an entertaining read. And then I immediately was like, I need the next volume, and I went and got Zero Year,
Zero Year. Yeah.
and Secret City, Dark City, or something like that is the next volume that again is already out in hardcover. I'm just waiting on the trade paperback. But yeah, no. Let's jump it back to the TV for a second because me and my fiance binge watched a new Netflix series over the weekend, and we about died laughing at Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.